This is HSK9, Radio Thailand World Service, broadcasting from Bangkok for listeners in Asia and the Pacific, the Middle East and Africa, Europe and America. It is now time for our broadcast in English for listeners in Europe.
Live from the Public Relations Department of the Royal Thai Government, this is Radio Thailand News.
สวัสดีครับ
This is Radio Thailand's News Hour. With me, Krachang Wit Chachit.
And with me, Benjamin Ruchopakan.
Starting off our national news. Officials in Chayapur province implement tough measures to prevent forest fires. Meanwhile, the Constitution Court chooses March 11th for a hearing on the government's ability to amend the Constitution.
In the Global Digest, officials at Taiwan's Leo Fu Safari Park prepare to send one of their southern white rhinos over to Japan to find a mate.
On Tech Today, sources say TikTok owner ByteDance is working on a Clubhouse-like app for China.
We will now give you the details on those headlines and many more.
National News.
In national news, the Constitution Court has chosen March 11th to hold a hearing on the government's ability to amend the Constitution after having heard from drafters of the 2017 Charter. Justice of the Constitution Court recently reviewed a request from Parliament to consider the government's ability to amend the Constitution. It also heard from 4 drafters of the 2017 Charter, namely Michai Rushupan, Pawansak Uwanno, Somkit Lerth Paitun, and Udom Rat Amarit. They have also taken into consideration views submitted by the opposition. Following the review, the court issued a document stating that there is sufficient cause for a legal ruling and that a hearing would take place on March 11th at 9:30 a.m. The request stems from a difference of opinion on the authority of Parliament to amend the Constitution, with the opposition holding that an amendment committee can be formed and government members insisting that the 2019 Charter does not provide for an overhaul. They also noted that Article 256 only allows for revisions to articles.
A discussion regarding the Lesmajes law has been held at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand, with attendees voicing views both in favor and against the law, also known as Article 112. During the discussion, opposition MP Rangsiman Rome said the call to amend Article 112 was intended to protect and strengthen the monarchy. He claimed that the amendment would ensure the institution's constitutional status while protecting people's constitutional freedom of political expression. Meanwhile, Anon Sagwarawit, an applied statistics lecturer of the National Institute of Development Administration, or NIDA, spoke in favor of the existing law, while noting its existing aspects that already protect human rights. He further pointed out that the king also deserves human rights protection. Anon compared Thailand's Lesmajes law to similar laws in European countries, some of which he said are more severe in terms of punishment when it comes to defamation and malice against the monarch. Rangsiman then brought up the issue of punishments under Article 112, saying the court once sentenced a person to 87 years in prison. On this subject, Thai Pakdi Party leader Dr. Warong Det Wikrom countered that the case in question involved multiple offenses and that the court eventually reduced the term to 40 years.
Haze has returned to the north and northeast of Thailand due to burning activities and forest fires, prompting authorities in Chayapur province to implement tough measures in order to prevent further blazes. In Chayapur, local authorities have been receiving reports of unauthorized burning activities susceptible to forest fires. Volunteers from 904 Royal Volunteer and Disaster Volunteer units in Hue Don Sub-District recently joined hands with firefighters to create fire breaks in local forests adjacent to Pat Ton National Park, where locals have allegedly set fires while hunting in the area. Chayapum Provincial Governor Chai Bun Orana has urged local authorities to speed up the creation of fire breaks, while warning that those who start fires will face 4 to 20 years in prison, a 400,000 to 2 million baht fine, or a combined sentence. Satellite images also show 61 forest fire hotspots across 12 districts, with the highest concentration of 15 reported in Mawang districts, followed by 9 in Omgoi sub-districts and 8 in Chiangdao sub-districts. The province has already dispatched officials to quickly put out the fires.
The Royal Thai Army, or RTA, has launched a campaign to assist drought-hit residents nationwide, following concerns over water shortages in several areas since late last year. The Royal Thai Army joined forces with partner agencies to launch this year's drought mitigation campaign by mobilizing tankers to deliver water to various drought-stricken regions. As part of the campaign, the Department of Groundwater Resources will distribute groundwater from 117 stations throughout the nation, with the Royal Thai Army running the logistics and supplying hay to affected animal farmers. The electricity fee for the campaign will be waived by the Provincial Electricity Authority, and the fuel is sponsored by PTT. In addition to the campaign, the RTA is looking into long-term solutions which will require systematic water management, including the enhancement of water distribution and drainage, water resources management, and the promotion of nature conservation awareness.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has led a media tour of its Ngao Farang Bon Phang Ayutthaya, or Silhouettes of Foreigners on the Shores of Ayutthaya projects, a showcase of Thailand's global role during the Ayutthaya era. The tour placed a particular focus on diplomacy and government efforts to develop Thailand into an ASEAN hub of commerce and investments. The project details Thailand's foreign affairs since the era of the Ayutthaya Kingdom, highlighting the nation's prowess at establishing trade relations with foreign nations and its prosperity through commerce. It also underlines Thailand's welcoming attitude towards foreigners to live and trade freely along its borders. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Don Paramat Vinay remarked that lessons from that era, comprising the 16th and 17th centuries, remain valuable. Among these was the kingdom's ability to forge international relations, which led to alliances and provided options in the face of outside pressure from foreign powers. The Deputy Prime Minister noted that throughout history, Thailand has played a key central role in Southeast Asia and in the wider Asian continent. This includes serving as a connection between India and the Pacific and playing an important role in regional politics, economics, and environment. And those were our national stories. Up next in Global News. The UN says 17% of the food available to consumers worldwide was thrown out in 2019. While pro-UK paramilitaries say they are abandoning support for Northern Ireland's 1998 peace deal.
Everyone knows that statistical data is important and beneficial to all people, in all professions, across all dimensions. But have you ever wondered how statistical data is used in the realm of education? Statistical data gives a clear overall picture of the nation regarding its education, from enrollment rates and the test scores of children nationwide to graduation rates. The data even reveals population numbers in communities, birth rates, budget spending, and much more. These statistics show just how well the government and educational institutions work to develop people, remedy inequality in education, plot the future for the workforce, and set long-term policies for learning. Students and researchers at the same time can harness properly collected and trustworthy statistical data for analysis, verification and solution finding, empowering studies, and further research. Statistical data is certainly a vital tool, and when applied to decision-making, brings accuracy and benefit to all. Together with the Thai NSO, we can build the future.
Thailand's travel selection with the Ministry of Tourism and Sport and the Tourism Authority of Thailand.
A one-of-a-kind experience has come into port at Asia Teak, the riverfront. Thailand travel selection boards one of the most captivating venues on the River of Kings, the Siri Mahannop. A loving replica of a King Rama V era Royal Thai Navy ship that played a seminal role in bridging Siam and the West, Siri Mahannop is today a premier lifestyle destination for dining and events, permanently docked on the Chao Phraya River. The upper deck is an elegant alfresco dining and bar area with gorgeous views and photogenic angles from bow to stern, including a space for exclusive get-togethers in the bridge. The lower deck is an atmospheric indoor venue that draws deeper upon the ship's history while being perfect for events for up to 300 people, with 2 secret cabins for more intimate celebrations. A gastronomic voyage, the Siri Mahannop menu is inspired by the route the ship would have taken, from the fragrant curries of the Gulf of Thailand to the smoked fish and hearty breads of Europe. Equally enthralling is the ship's selection of creative cocktails, with concoctions based in Thai woods and tropical fruits. Set course for a sensational evening. Visit Siri Mahannop at Asia Teak, the riverfront. For information, call 02-059 5999 or head to facebook.com/Siri Mahannop.
Radio Thailand News, broadcast from the Public Relations Department of the Royal Thai Government on AM 918, FM 88, FM 95.5 and FM 107. For advertising inquiries, please email us at radiothailand@outlook.com. Global News.
You are listening to Radio Thailand's News Hour. We broadcast live from FM 88, FM 95.5, FM 107, and online at nbt.prd.go.th. Turning to our global headlines. A French court has acquitted former Prime Minister Edouard Balladur of corruption charges, but handed a suspended jail term to his former defense minister in a case that involved kickbacks from arms deals with Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. The verdict by the Law Court of the Republic, or CJR, which sits to try serving and former ministers for alleged violations committed in office, came just days after ex-President Nicolas Sarkozy was convicted in a case that sparked a national debate on the extent of political corruption. The 91-year-old Balladur had been accused of funneling illicit commissions for arms deals to his unsuccessful presidential campaign in 1995. His former defense minister, François Léotard, was convicted of complicity in the misuse of assets and handed a suspended 2-year prison term, along with a fine of 100,000 euros, or $120,000. Neither was present in court for the verdict. Balladur and Léotard were charged in 2017 over kickbacks found in the contracts for submarines sold to Pakistan and frigate.
That concludes our program in English for listeners in Europe.